Today I am talking about unexplained high blood pressure or hypertension, what I think is probably a very common cause of that, and simple ways of fixing it or managing it. Hi there, my name is Sue. Welcome to my channel. As I said, today I'm talking about unexplained hypertension or high blood pressure. Now, this is not something that I personally have had problems with. My blood pressure has historically been quite low, although it was going up before I started on the carnivore diet. But it has affected someone who is very close to me, my dear old, very darling dad. So my dad has had problems with his blood pressure for probably about 20 years now, and it has been quite unexplained. When my dad first started having problems with his blood pressure, so my dad is in his early 90s now, and he was probably in his 70s when this started, and there was really no reason for him to have high blood pressure. My dad seemed to be doing everything right. You know, he wasn't overweight. Occasionally you get a little bit of a belly on him, but he's never been overweight as such. He has been vegetarian for probably 50 years, although these days and for quite a lot of years he's been pescatarian because he realised that he needed to eat more protein. He eats a very clean and healthy diet. He's very health conscious, takes, different supplements, does a lot of research into things to, find out how to stay healthy. Back when he first started having problems with his blood pressure, he had retired. There was no reason for him to be particularly stressed. He used to exercise, he would go out walking every day, and he's always been into doing a bit of yoga and things like that. So he was living a pretty healthy life, and yet he ended up hospitalised a couple of times because his blood pressure went up so high, like scarily high, 200 and over. He's been well over 220, maybe 280. I can't remember. Ridiculous high blood pressure. And so he's been on blood pressure medication since that time, and he's never liked being on that medication. He's not on any other meds, but they've had to change his meds over recent years, his blood pressure medication, and it really gives him some problems these days. So that's really started me looking into blood pressure issues for him, trying to find an answer to this because it's quite confusing. I kept thinking he shouldn't have high blood pressure issues, especially when this all first started years ago. There was no reason for him to have this. But I think that unexplained high blood pressure is relatively common. So, and it can be caused by some things like medications and bits and pieces, but yeah, that wasn't the case for him. And so in recent years, since I've been on the carnivore diet, I've been doing lots of digging into lots of different information for myself, trying to resolve my health issues, as well as looking into the blood pressure issue whenever it kind of rears its head with Dad. And one of the things that I did maybe 18 months, probably 2 years ago now, was I had a look at, started having a look at my genetic information. So I had my DNA done through Ancestry because Mum does genealogy. And so had my husband. We both had our DNA done. And so I put our DNA through a website called Prometheus, which gives you information on your genetics. It's not easy to follow particularly. You have to do a bit of kind of Googling and digging into other things to really work out some bits and pieces in there. But what I did discover, which I had suspected for myself in particular, was that I have a compound MTHFR gene variation. And so does my husband. We both have the same. So we both have one copy of the C677T and one copy of the A1298C genetic variations. Now, my husband and I have quite different health issues. The methylation issues were probably more obvious in my case, but he has kind of definitely shown some signs of things going on, especially as he's got older. And with my parents, when they were over visiting us one day, or for a few days, this was a couple of years ago, and I decided to have a look at their genetics as well. And I kind of expected that Mum would have the issue with the MTHFR, but it turned out to be Dad. So when I had a look, I think Mum's only got one copy of the 1298T, the A1298T variation, whereas Dad has homozygous variations with the 677T. So that surprised me because Dad's always had relatively, good health apart from his, he had some issues when he was younger. Just watching, there's a pheasant out my window, so I'm a bit distracted. So he's had some stuff go on, through his life, but nothing major until the blood pressure. And so that kind of surprised me that he had that, but that was okay. And I don't think Mum and Dad really understood what I was talking about when I was kind of looking into all of this and explaining it. And I think then they just kind of forgot about it. And so anyway, more recently, I had, because I read a lot of the comments, not only under my videos, but under other people's videos. And I had seen someone comment and talking about taking TMG for their blood pressure issues. I think it was when I was actually looking for information about blood pressure for Dad, because it's he's been having problems on the drugs that he's on. And then he had an issue just recently where his blood pressure just shot up and was incredibly high, quite scarily high again. And so that got me looking at lots of different information online. And, when you read through people's comments, you glean a lot of really interesting information. Now, TMG is a supplement that I had bought when I found out that we had the MTHFR gene variations. I had ordered some TMG powder. I tried taking it. I thought it was upsetting my bowel. My bowel was being upset by everything back then. So I stopped, and my husband took it for a little bit, and then he stopped as well. And so it had been sitting in the cupboard. And then he just started taking it again just recently because I'd been delving into more information about it. Now, because Dad had been having problems again just recently, I started looking at the TMG because somebody had said that they were taking TMG for blood pressure and it was working. And I was like, that's interesting. And so what I've uncovered, having a look at lots of different information, is that when people have MTHFR genetic variations, especially when you have two copies of either C677T or the one copy of each. So they're the two kind of more serious, I guess, variations that cause more problems. High homocysteine can become a problem. Now, homocysteine is inflammatory, and when your homocysteine is high, that is associated with cardiovascular disease. And that is because what it does is it causes inflammation in the blood vessels. So when this is going on, it's not actually a heart issue, it's a blood vessel issue. So all of those miles of blood vessels throughout our body, when our homocysteine is high, are getting inflamed, and they are kind of swelling, and the gap, the pipe where the blood goes through is getting tighter. And so that causes high blood pressure. Now, MTHFR genetic variations, it's estimated that up to 40% of the population or more may have these variations, and most people have got no idea that they have them. And part of what compounds this issue is that most of your GPs have got no idea. If you mention MTHFR variations to them, they have no idea because they're not trained in this when they go to medical school, because there are no drugs that fix this. And they don't test homocysteine most of the time either. Most doctors, it's not on their list to test, so they just don't test it. So they have no idea. So they have these patients who have high blood pressure issues that are really difficult to manage, and they have no idea why they're happening. And this very well could be the reason. Now, I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice. I'm just telling you what I have learned and what I have suggested to my dad to try and resolve this. So we went over to Mum and Dad's a few weeks ago, and I explained all this to them. And so Dad is now taking some TMG, and he's also taking some B vitamins as well, some folate and B6 and B12, I think. I think he's taking all three. And so that basically, if this homocysteine issue is a problem and is what is causing your high blood pressure, then this can be an answer potentially, is to make sure you're getting enough of those B vitamins. So on a carnivore diet, we are getting really good amounts generally of B12 and B6, and folate is, you really need to probably eat liver to get enough folate, from my understanding. Chicken livers are the best. So I'm not a fan of liver. We were eating it for a little while, hubby and I, and then we stopped. So I think that we need to get back to at least eating some chicken liver maybe once a week to get enough folate. And then the other supplement, of course, is the TMG. So the reason TMG helps is the homocysteine goes high because it's supposed to convert from homocysteine to methionine. And when we have methylation issues, that stops that from happening properly. So the homocysteine just raises and gets too high and isn't converting. Now, TMG stands for trimethylglycine. So it is glycine with 3 methyl groups on it, and it acts as a methyl donor, and it donates methyl groups to increase, that helps to increase methylation and get us methylating in a better way and converting that homocysteine to methionine as is supposed to happen. The brand of TMG that I take, I want to say this because I am sponsored by this company in particular. I am more than happy to talk about their products because their products, their NMN and their TMG has made such a difference to me. The NMN in particular made a huge difference, and I'm now taking their TMG as well. Their products are made in the USA. They're third-party tested, and they contain no tableting aids, no capsuling aids, nothing extra. So this is pure NMN, this is pure TMG. That is all you get with them. And they're all third-party tested. They have their certificates of analysis on their website. So you can check your bottle. You can look at the batch number, look it up, check your bottle, see that it is a pure product. It doesn't contain anything else. I will have a link to these products below the video. The TMG is not expensive. I think it's under $20 US a bottle. And if you buy multiples, they have really good deals where you can subscribe and save, or you can buy, 3 at a time and save quite a lot of money. So they are a really good company with really good products. And that is the TMG that I've been taking. So the TMG can really help as well. So if you have unexplained high blood pressure, if you don't know whether you have an MTHFR genetic variation, you don't need to know. I mean, you can go and get genetic testing done and find that out. It tends to be quite expensive unless you do what I do and just go through, but even through Ancestry is quite expensive. Get your DNA tested and then put it through Prometheus for, I think it costs like $12 US to put it through Prometheus. You can find out that way, but you don't need to. If you go and have a homocysteine test done, you will find out whether your homocysteine is high. So my dad had the test done and his homocysteine was high, and I was hoping that it was. I was like, yes, because that means that there's hope that we might be able to resolve this problem even at his age once and for all. So I've got my fingers crossed there. So having a homocysteine test, if your homocysteine is high, then there is a fairly good chance that that is what is causing your blood pressure issues. Or you can just get some TMG and start taking it and see what happens, monitor your blood pressure and see what happens. Entirely up to you which way you go with this. TMG has many other benefits as well. It's really good for liver health and a whole bunch of things. It's an anti-aging supplement. And so, if you're over 40, it's probably not a bad supplement to take anyway, and is not going to have any detrimental effects. As from what I have seen, there doesn't seem to be any problems with it. The only issues that have ever come up in the research done on it is if you're taking really high doses, like over 1,500 milligrams a day, I think it is so it can be some digestive discomfort or gut issues. So I've had no gut issues with it, and I'm currently taking 15,000 milligrams. Sorry, I'm currently taking 1,500 milligrams a day, and it's over 15,000. I think people start having digestive issues with it. So you can take a pretty whopping big dose and not have too much problems for most people. So that was the video I wanted to make today. The comment that I saw in someone's video the other day, where someone was saying, I don't know whether I've already mentioned this or not, but someone was saying that they have been on carnivore for a period of time. They tried to get off their blood pressure medications, had a blood pressure emergency, ended up in hospital, and it was really scary. And so I said to them in the comment, I said, it may be MTHFR genetic variations, raised homocysteine explained what I have discovered, and they confirmed that they do have compound MTHFR genetic variations. They didn't know about the homocysteine thing, so they're going to try the TMG because it's just something they didn't know. And this is the thing, is you don't know until you know. And if your doctor, our doctors aren't trained in this stuff particularly. And so they're not going to tell you. And so, yeah, this is really important information that people with high blood pressure really need to know, because it just really might help people out there. So if you have high blood pressure, if you know someone with high blood pressure, share this video with them. I'm hoping that lots of people get to see this because it is really important. And I will have my link to the particular TMG below the video. I was just actually having a look on Amazon to see if there was any pure TMG products on there, and there is almost none. Most of them have got even the TMG powders have got other stuff added to them. They just add these, I don't know why they add these things, but they do, that cause gut issues and all of these different things. So it's really frustrating once you understand that this is a problem in supplements. So it's nice to have pure supplements that don't contain any additives and that aren't horribly expensive. So my link to that will be below. If you have any comments or questions, pop them below the video and I'll get to them as soon as I can. I always try to help if anyone's got any questions. And if you like this video, make sure to subscribe, like and share, as I said, with anyone who might need this info. And I thank you very much for watching, and I will talk to you again another day. Goodbye for now.